Co-living actually came pretty quickly within, 7 or 8 months of being in real estate. And immediately, as soon as I heard it, it was like, zoop, like this full-on big yes. It was like a heart yes to, oh, that's it.
In different cities, you cater to different individuals, correct? And there are many misconceptions, unfortunately, about co-living across the field. Number one, and we were discussing this last night on the retreat, is co-living is only for individuals that make minimum wage. Well, nothing further from the truth.
After building my company for a while, I really saw that, number one, I needed to diversify. And number two, real estate is incredible.
What we've discovered and what many partners discover is like you have to operate inside of your strengths and be intentional about setting up the partnership with somebody that has like opposite strengths of you, and then making sure that you're, staying in your lane, which can be difficult to do.
There's many people both in the co-living space and individuals that I know that are very successful in the multifamily investing space who have properties they've never seen in their entire lives in person. They've only seen them, in pictures and videos.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Coliving Investing Podcast. I am your host, Ashley Jeffers, and this is a very special episode. As you can see, change of scenery here. So we are outside the podcast studio in location in Estes Park, Estes Park, Colorado. So we are here for the National Coliving Conference, which will be taking place this week. Prior to going to the conference, we are here for the Women's Summit. Women's Retreat. Yeah, that's right. So we are here for the Women's Retreat. So who I have with me is a group of amazing women who are in the co-living space, have a lot of experience, have a lot of resources to share. And so I wanted to bring the group together and just talk to them about their experiences in real estate investing, the co-living investing space. And so this is going to be a special one. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off with introductions. So everyone's going to take just a minute to introduce themselves. And so we're going to start with Lonnie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lonnie Lebanoff. I'm based out of Miami, and I started co-living 5 years ago.
Sweet.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharon Garcia. I'm from Colombia. I'm been in the USA for the last 5 years, and I'm 28 years old. I do co-living arbitrage in Utah and Arizona, and I start my journey just leading organizations with social projects in Colombia, and then I start to work with a lot of people and creating a lot of projects for the community, and then I'm here just leading a big community of women and young professionals in the USA.
That's good. Hi, I am Clara Arroyave, double Air. I'm host of the education show in YouTube, Coliving Cash Flow. That's a weekly education show. And I'm also the owner of the Coliving Calculator, which is the underwriting tool that the lenders prefer when you underwrite your co-living properties. I'm based in Boston, and I have been doing co-living for over 10 years. My bread and butter in Massachusetts, it's multifamily co-living, unlike everybody else. So I bring a different perspective to the co-living environment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Brown. I'm the co-founder of the Women's Co-Living Summit, and I'm also a lender and real estate investor. I've been in co-living for a year, but scaled very quickly in that year, and I'm excited to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Russ. I'm based out of Temecula, California, which is near San Diego area. And I've been investing in the real estate space for a number of years. Within the last year and a half, I've really focused on co-living. I do live in California, like I said, and my properties are all remote. So I have properties in Atlanta, in Texas, and in Arizona. So definitely can be done remotely if that's what you want to do.
Hello, I am Caitlin Verdugo, Co-Living Kate. I am a realtor and an investor based out of Atlanta, and I am the other co-founder of the Women's Co-Living Summit. I have been a real estate investor for the past 5 years and in co-living for the past 18 months. And yeah, excited to have all the women together and expand co-living.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Grimm Fulton. I am based out of Denver, Colorado, operating a few co-living properties here, and I've been in it for a couple years. Happy to be here.
All right. Hold on to that.
Okay.
And you can just pass it.
Okay.
As, people answer questions. So,
Sure.
So exciting to be amongst a group that has different walks, different experiences, has seen so many different things within the space. So I want to start with Kim. So it is unique that you manage properties remotely. I've heard nightmares. I've heard horror stories of people who buy a property outside of their home state. So can you give us a rundown of how you're able to set up your operations, set up your foundation to be able to manage your properties outside of where you live?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think number one, it's on the front end, it's a mindset shift. So when I first got into real estate investing, the thought of doing something remotely seemed, not reasonable. And that's the power of getting together with different people. As I've learned from different individuals who are very successful in the investing space, it's done all the time. And it's, again, just kind of opening your mind up to the fact that you don't have to be there. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're focusing on high payoff activities, which means you're the CEO of your company. You're directing things. You're not the one going across town to go fix the toilet, right? Or whatever needs to happen. So really, it's a focus on the front end of establishing your team. Number one, first and foremost, is definitely your general contractor who's going to help with renovations, and then either that individual or someone else, you need to have as far as maintenance and those things that need to be taken care of when you're not around. And also having an amazing real estate agent is helpful as well, or wholesalers, right? There's different ways to acquire properties, but ultimately that team becomes your boots on the ground, and you're the one directing and overseeing. You're the visionary of your business, and then you're now hiring a team that, as you acquire more and more properties in one in particular area, it just gets easier and easier, right? Because you've got different work going on, you're able to keep people employed, and you're able to continue to grow and scale your real estate business.
So you've got to build teams in all these different areas where you're invested. How did you build teams? Did you have to physically fly out to these locations and, shake hands with folks and have meetings in person with folks, or did you just find these individuals online?
So a lot of it we did initially just virtually, right? That's the power nowadays with Zoom and everything else. You can connect virtually. We did, meaning my husband and I, did choose to go out and meet people in person on the front end as well. But you also don't have to. There's many people both in the co-living space and individuals that I know that are very successful in the multifamily investing space who have properties they've never seen in their entire lives in person. They've only seen them, in pictures and videos. So I think you can approach it either way. That's the beauty of it, is that you can, design it however works. But again, if you have the right individuals in place, they're taking videos for you and pictures, whether that's on the front end in terms of evaluating a property or ongoing when things need to happen or renovations are going on. But you're definitely able to do it via the virtual options if that's what you choose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiffany, can you talk to us about how you are bringing together your desire to be in a business that reflects your values? Can you talk to us about how co-living helps you, what did you say last night? Fulfill your purpose while you're on this earth.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to be in real estate, and it was actually quite foreign to me 2 years ago. So I just kind of had to wipe out a mindset that it was too risky and too all the things and start from scratch and be a beginner in a space that I knew nothing about. So I started exploring all the different spaces within real estate, and what became really clear was if I'm going to invest my time into this, if I'm going to invest my energy, that I need it to align with who I am. And part of that is, certainly my own personal values, my personal values, my family values, and how that extrapolates into community and into humanity, right? And like that the reason that I'm here is much bigger than really what I think it is. And so co-living actually came pretty quickly within, 7 or 8 months of being in real estate. And immediately, as soon as I heard it, it was like, zoop, like this full-on big yes. It was like a heart yes to, oh, that's it. Like because part of my personal values is connection, right? And love and loyalty, and to be in a space where you can actually bring humans together that might otherwise be, out there, individual, lonely, not feeling like they belong somewhere. Like, can you actually foster an environment of belonging and scale that? And with the disconnection of people and technology now, I mean, it's the most connected world and it's the most disconnected at the same time. So how do we bring people literally back together in the same house and help them learn to grow together? And that for me fulfills an individual purpose of helping individuals transform, helping spaces transform, communities, and all of humanity. So, yeah.
Jasmine, can you talk to us a little bit about how you and Caitlin came about establishing the Women's Co-Living Summit, what that means to you and what the purpose is?
Yes, so we attended the National Coliving Conference last year. Very great event. And there was one woman on the stage.
That's it.
Hey.
The chosen one.
The chosen one, Clara. And, Caitlin and I, we talked about how many amazing women we know that have built 7-figure portfolios in co-living and deserve the main stage. And it was just an easy thing that came together. We started out in Tiffany's car and we said, let's get the ladies together for lunch, just the attendees of the conference. And then the lunch turned into, let's do something even bigger. And now we are at year 2.
Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Clara, can you talk to us about your approach to co-living through multifamily? Because I had not heard that approach before. So why go that route?
Sure, absolutely. Happy to help. In different cities, you cater to different individuals, correct? And there are many misconceptions, unfortunately, about co-living across the field. Number one, and we were discussing this last night on the retreat, is co-living is only for individuals that make minimum wage. Well, nothing further from the truth. A lot of young professionals, people fresh out of college, young grads, people that just moved forward to do let's say, a 6 months internship in any company in a big city. Think about New York, Boston, DC, Chicago, all of them. You cannot, the price of a single family wouldn't pencil for a co-living, right? Simple as that. But the demand and the population are there because the jobs are there. So even after COVID. So what we do is I started my career in doing arbitrage, same as Sharon. So we used to lease buildings that have what we call triple deckers. So 3 levels, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms each. So when you get one of these buildings in one property, you're getting 12 bedrooms instead of 6 that you get in one single. So with the same effort, and not even parking is needed because everything is close to public transportation. With the same effort that you do a single family home, you double the revenue in a multifamily. And that's how just the numbers compound magically, because then this one property is 12 and the second one is 12. And if you get one next to each other, it's 24 neighborhoods with 36, 40, So that's how we help us scale our company right quickly, because the way the cities are structured. And the interesting part is that we are 100% regulation abiding, because it's the maximum amount of people, still 4. Every apartment has 4. So we don't have to break walls. We don't have to add anything. It's just the way we structure the offer for the resident.
That's good. Lonnie, you up? So Lonnie, I know you have experience, or you started prior to co-living in organizational leadership and development?
Education.
Education.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about how you transitioned from that career to going into co-living.
Yeah.
And what have you taken from that career, from that experience? How have you applied that to co-living?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a great question. So, 12 years ago now, I started a company for tutoring and coaching foster youth and special needs. And so we help kids around the U.S. now with that. And the the reason I got into that was because I saw, like, we really need to help our kids, right? Not only foster youth, special needs, homeless kids, but even,
Middle class kids.
Yeah, middle class kids, anybody, because my goal is what we're learning is going to help us in life. So what are life skills? What is your purpose in life? Learn about financial literacy, learn about building a business in elementary school, right? And so that's what I started with because I really wanted to be able to help the next generations. Mm-hmm. And so after building my company for a while, I really saw that, number one, I needed to diversify. Mm-hmm. And number two, real estate is incredible. So true. I really wanted to get into it. And you all know the benefits of real estate, right? Mm-hmm. Tax benefits, like appreciation, yeah. So many different things. Yeah. And so when I looked at real estate, I was like, okay, awesome. I'm definitely going to do this. But there's multifamily, there's co-living, there's Airbnb, there's like so many hotels. You can do so many different things. And so I explored most of them. I looked at wholesaling. I looked at converting hotels into multifamily. I looked at multifamily. I looked at Airbnb. I landed on co-living because I was like, it's the best of all the worlds, mm-hmm. where it's like it's 3x the profit of a normal. And it was my type of business because I'm used to working with like a lot of people across the U.S. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, this makes sense for me. And it wasn't until later when I really realized, like, what you were saying earlier, Tiffany, with your values, it makes sense. Like, for me, I now realize, like, I've been doing a whole lot of soul searching through this. I think business is the best way, actually, to like personally develop. It affects my personal relationships, my romantic relationships, because you're always leveling up, right? Yeah. And so I use those skills of remote, like what you were mentioning, and building teams, recognizing who is a good team member in real estate. And so for me, I was like, wow, building this next business was so much easier than that first one because I learned all those important lessons. And real estate, it is changing, mm-hmm. but it doesn't change as quickly as other industries do. And so because of that, I was just really excited to be in this industry. And so yeah, I'm super excited to be in co-living and matching up with my values, like what you said, where we focus on connection, we focus on bringing people together again.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Lonnie. Sharon, talk to us about rental arbitrage. So rental arbitrage is something that a new real estate investor can use to start. Instead of jumping all the way off the deep end and buying a property, they can rent a property with the permission of the landlord, and then they can rent out the rooms in that property. So you do a lot of rental arbitrage. So can you tell us what the typical like transaction looks like as far as the conversation that you have with the landlord to say, hey, I want to partner with you, make sure you get your cash flow every single month in this way. I want to set this property up for the purpose of room rentals. So can you give us a little bit about how rental arbitrage works?
Yes, of course. When I was 4 years ago, I was thinking how start to just have another income for me. And just I asked myself, how can I use like my experience to create something new here? So just I start to look for more people if they do co-living, and a lot of people inside the real estate was needing a lot of money, or they were around a lot of contacts, they influence people too. And I was 4 years ago with nothing, mm-hmm. no contacts, no money, no documents to start in real estate. So I just start to thinking how to do co-living arbitrage, how the easy way to go into the real estate game for a young woman with nothing. So I found co-living arbitrage. So this strategy is about to rent, so rent a property for at least 3 years, because the minimum that you can bring the return of the investment in co-living arbitrage is about 18 months. So the minimum lease that you need is at least 3 years. And so I do 3 years to 5 year lease. And the pitch with the owners is so easy. It's like, hey, you are looking for a stable income, you are looking for someone to take care of your property, and you are looking for zero stress-free experience with your property. So just I create a big offer around the three factors for the owners. And just I start to create the company, like focusing on living arbitrage. So about the properties, like you are a woman with no money, so you are looking to just don't spend a lot of money in the investment. So I decide just start with 15K. And with 15K you are able to take a property with at least 4 rooms and looking to add 1 or 2 more rooms to, make the property profitable with cash flow. I'm looking always at least 1,000 cash flow in each property. And just a good alignment in expectative and responsibilities from the owner and from me too. And when I start to scale too, so I start to see which kind of properties are in the market that could be a competition between the traditional rent and with the owner, with the negotiation, and traditional rent and just being a stress-free experience for the owner too. So the properties with 3 or 4 rooms, you can add 2 or 3 rooms more, for the next years, and that will be a good deal for everyone right there.
All right, it's hot out here, y'all, so we got about 2 more questions before we wrap up this episode. But I did want to go to Jasmine or Caitlin on this one. You guys are partners. You have partnership in owning houses together. So tell me about the best of partnership and the worst of partnership.
Good question. That's a good question that a lot of people ask, honestly. And I think what we've discovered and what many partners discover is like you have to operate inside of your strengths and be intentional about setting up the partnership with somebody that has like opposite strengths of you, and then making sure that you're, staying in your lane, which can be difficult to do because I think a lot of women in real estate are like, control and like really go-getters. And so if you're both really go-getting, we kind of like can trip over each other a little bit. But I think the thing to remember is like, this is your job. You own this complete portion of this, whether that's like owning the utilities or owning the maintenance or the whatever. Obviously, that's how we have it broken out. But yeah, operating within your strengths, and as Kim says, your zone of genius, that's really an important factor in partnerships.
The thing that I want to add is, for us, I think it's been helpful to have a basis of friendship first. I think people jump into partnerships very quickly because they do want, they're like, I have to find somebody to grow. It's great, too. This business is very difficult if you don't have at least one sounding board and a partner to split things with. But Caitlin and I got to know each other before we got into a partnership. So we met at a local women's meetup that I used to host, and then she sat on the panel at one of the events. Then we did like a booth together at another event. So there were a lot of interactions where we had to work together before we said, let's buy a house. And I think that that's just really important because at those times that you may have disagreements, that foundation comes there and we're like, okay, what are we really mad about? Let's get over it and hug it out. So, yeah.
Talk it out, hug it out.
Yeah.
And, okay. And to add to that, like the foundation of friendship and then like the rekindling of friendship outside of the business too. I think a lot of partners miss that. And I think we do a great job with that. Like you have to be business partners, but you also have to like be intentional about your friendship and like maintaining that and making sure that's growing. And like there's work and then there's like friendship and outside and like fun stuff. And I think, you know, married partners, do you want to talk about being married partners?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, my husband's very involved for sure. And I think it's the same type of thing that happens with, you know, business partners. You lean into your strengths, your zone of genius, and that's definitely what Mike and I do. He's very much, you know, underwriting is his main thing, as well as asset management. I'm more acquisitions, concept and design, capital raising. And so we just kind of lean into those strengths. And you have to be friends with them, too, it turns out. Yeah, it turns out. Very important on both sides. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Go salsa dancing when you need to work something out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to toss this question up, and anyone can answer it. But I want to know, from your perspective, what unique touch does a woman bring to co-living investing that a man may not necessarily be able to tap into?
I mean, I'll just say one. I'll say one quick thing. Again, it comes down to your strengths. So male or female, I think those can obviously go all over the place. So I think it's hard to narrow down specifically. But I do think, you know, women have a tendency. We're very maternal, right, and inclusive. Again, not that men aren't. Depends on the person, but I think we have a tendency to lean into that. We are very focused on the profit and purpose part, that it's not just for the profit. We also care about the experience of the individual. One thing that I always say that, you know, breaks my heart as I, you know, met different people who have been, you know, various tenants of ours is oftentimes they are low income. I know not always, right? Depends on the scenario, but oftentimes they are. And you can tell that, you know, and I think we all know this, right? For people who don't have a lot of financial means, they often do not get a lot of respect in this world, which, again, breaks my heart because we're all innately valuable on this planet, no matter what means you have, whether you have a lot or a little. And so I think that's the touch, though, that we add is in communications and talking with the people who live in our properties. It doesn't take a lot to make them feel valued because they're not used to getting it, which is, again, so sad. And so that's where I think we do get people who stay with us, you know, in our properties for more than a year because it's not just the property itself, which I think, again, women have a tendency to do a nice added touch. So the home is also very, very welcoming, but it's more than that. It's how they're treated as individuals and how we approach everything. They can tell that there's a love there for just, you know, wanting to provide something safe, comfortable, and that they truly feel, you know, that they just love living there. So.
All right.
Well,
So look,
that
was great.
I think a couple, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like as feminine creatures, right? Like we are naturally in flow, right? We have more of like a rhythmic cycle, if you will. And men are more like circadian rhythm, 24-hour go and crash, right? So I think that as feminine, like when we really think about leading and really feel into like what our natural capacity and skill sets are, it's certainly to like find a rhythm and be okay with riding the rhythm because we're so in tune with cycles. And also, I think it's a natural inclination to want to collaborate. As much as we say, I don't need help, I don't need anything, I can do this myself, that's just like, it's a symptom of the paradigm that currently exists. So I was talking to a few of you last night, I was like, when we all get in the room, like we can really sink into, oh, how do we all tap into our zones of genius? And what would it look like if we all led together and moved this whole wave of co-living forward from a feminine perspective and from a place where we don't have to push our way through, but we can like listen our way through and be receptive to what's happening, you know, around us and what wants to happen through us.
All right. So, amazing conversation. Ladies, thank you so much for what you do in the world and what you have contributed here. Listen, we couldn't ask for a better conversation. These ladies have poured out, they shared their experiences. So what I'm asking of you is take something from this conversation and go be great in the world. And if you choose co-living investing as a vehicle to go be great in the world, even better. So thank you for tuning in. Ladies, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all in the next episode.